Is this thing on?
Are you ready, Matt?
You're listening to Box Office Bingers
with Matt Diaz and Ernesto Santos.
Good evening, folks. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Box Office Bingers.
And the only way that I know how to do it is to find you a bloody good dump.
He's my friend. I don't have friends. I got family.
I can do this all day.
You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Box Office Bingers. And Ernesto, this is a big episode. We've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. So tell the people what movie we are reviewing, but in my opinion, more importantly, what else we'll be talking about.
Oh, it's Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. And that means that this morning, the Oscar nominations have finally been released for the 98th Academy Awards. I'm very excited for this. Hold on. There it is.
Damn, sound effects.
It's the Academy Awards, y'all. I don't know. It's the first time I've been able to use that. That it felt necessary for me to do that. So
it was a perfect time to debut that sound. 2026, look it up.
So not only are we reviewing 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, starring Ralph Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, Alfie Williams, Aaron Kellyman, and Chai Lewis Perry, directed by Nia Costa, who did Little Woods, Candyman, The Marvels, and Hedda, written by Alex Garland, 28 Days Later, 28 Years Later, Ex Machina, Annihilation, Civil War, and Warfare. They're back for the next installment of the 28 Years Later franchise, and I kind of have some things to say. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this movie.
Yeah. This is the first kind of big release of 2026, and very quickly since 28 Years Later, that just came out this past June, I believe.
Yeah, it was very short. Well, and they also shot the Bone Temple immediately after doing the first one, the first installment of 28 Years Later. So it's kind of great. I'm kind of curious to see, we're going to have that conversation about what's the next installment is going to be like and kind of the reception from this film. But more importantly, we got to talk about the Oscars.
Oh yeah. So just a little disclaimer, we're going to be skipping what you're watching this week because we have a lot to talk about with the Oscar noms. If you were familiar with the show, we go pretty hard on the Oscar nominations and the Oscar awards show. It's kind of a tradition here on the podcast. We like to recognize and kind of just talk about if these are the best of the year. I think it's worth either looking at, it's worth talking about, it's worth mentioning. Some of the stuff doesn't even matter to most people, but as film nerds, I feel like it's worth looking into to see, just to kind of form our own opinion, just to be, just kind of looking around and seeing stuff that most likely I would not have I would not have seen otherwise.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for these nominations of like, here's what's considered the best according to people who may or may not know more than we do. But then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because everything's subjective. But we kind of just want to see it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's also interesting, especially last year when we found out that a lot of them they don't even watch it.
Like, oh, my friend voted for this one. I guess I can vote for this one too.
Oh, this person is doing really good. I want them to do better. Let me just vote for their movie. I'm sure it's fun.
He's like, oh, we had a good conversation once. I'll vote for them.
Hey, that guy bought me lunch. No, but you know what? I don't know. I always look forward to like watching them all and kind of just going through the analysis. Like this is my favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's also just fun for us to just kind of dissect all of this.
Yeah.
And even, and just this past week we talked about our best of 2025 and movies and television. So now we get to see what the Academy and what Hollywood thinks is the best. And for the last couple of years, we've kind of been coinciding with some of our favorite films is also what the best picture nominations are.
Yeah.
And as we go into when we talk about our first category that just got nominated and all these films that were nominated, I think it's kind of like I feel a little bit, not to say that I need it, but but I feel validated with some of these. It's like, hey, I was thinking this, and I'm glad you're thinking this too. That's all I'm saying. It just to me, this is just prepping myself. Like I can be you.
Yeah, you're right. You pick good
Yeah,
movies. I pick good movies too. Well,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Oh, oh, you're just agreeing with me. I think I started the conversation first, and then you just listen to me. You listen to this podcast. You're like, yeah, the binger's got a point.
Yeah,
Let's just vote for them too.
those
Yeah,
binges.
we
They know
they,
movies.
they know movies. That's I think that should be Uncle Roger's tagline. I'm Uncle Roger. I know movies.
Good or bad, I'm here.
Yeah, good. My ass is in the seat no matter what.
Keeping the movie theaters alive.
Yeah. I'm the sole contributor of every movie theater. I spend every day going to the local ones, the big ones, the small ones, any ones.
I love them all.
I love them all.
All
All
right.
right. All right. All right.
All
Let's
right,
get into it. All right.
let's talk about it.
Yeah. All right. So the nominations for the 98th annual Academy Awards have finally been announced. Let's go over some of the big nominations, snubs, and surprises. So we're not going over everyone, just some of the big ones. And the biggest of them all is nominees for Best Picture. The nominees are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme,
What are you doing? I can't with
One
you.
Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
You got to leave the pause for we can add in the clapping afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, so here are our 10 Best Picture nominations. I saw a couple of surprises here, one of which being Begonia and F1. There were a lot of films that were kind of a lock based on what we were talking about before in other episodes. Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Sinners. Those 5 movies were pretty much almost a guaranteed Best Picture nomination.
I would
Train
even.
Dreams.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say I would even throw Train Dreams in that conversation as well because I mean, great film. So I
It is a
like
great film.
it was no surprise when I saw it got nominated.
Yeah, I mean, none of these are really too surprising, but it was just kind of see where the dominoes fell
Mm.
on it. And definitely the big surprises coming out of that is Begonia and F1. A couple of the snubs that kind of did not get the Best Picture nom, one of which was Wicked for Good. It was Just an Accident. No Other Choice, which is another international film. It was Just an Accident is also an international film. And Jay Kelly. Those were kind of all the within the conversation that could be nominated for Best Picture. Some of them could have stolen it, go here or there. But I honestly, the biggest surprise to me is Begonia. Like I feel like that it was talked about other categories, but I never really saw it for Best Picture. And I'm quite surprised that it got the nom over what was for me more of a likely choice was It Was Just an Accident, a movie I haven't seen yet, but a movie that was highly talked about, and it did get the international feature nomination, but didn't go away with the Best Picture nom. So again, they do like Yorgos Lanthimos. I mean, it was nominated for Best Picture for Poor Things. Um, so they're
It
definitely
won.
familiar with the director.
Didn't it win that? It won that year, didn't it?
No, it didn't win, and I don't think it did. Not that not that I remember. I think Emma Stone won that year for her performance, but I don't believe Poor Things won Best Picture that year. Um, but also some of the validation that I was happy to see was F1.
Yeah.
F1 was my favorite movie of 2025, and I was very happy to see that name up there.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's fun. Like it's just a fun movie. I was just pleasant. I was very pleasantly surprised. I am kind of sad that it didn't get nominated for score, which I think arguably is like the best thing about the movie is the score by
Very
Hans
true.
Zimmer.
Yes.
But I'll take the best picture nom. I think it's well earned. It's just it was a fun summer movie. It's one of my favorites from last year. I'm also feeling really good this year, Matt, because like just off a nomination, we've seen 9 out of the 10 that are nominated for best picture, and then we're gonna knock out the next one for next week's show.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about 8 out of the 9 nominations, and we would have seen Sentimental Value earlier if we were planning on having a bigger episode to talk about all the international features, so we were kind of saving that one for later, and watching it closer to the report time. But we both of us watched The Secret Agent about almost a month ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're just playing catch up. Sorry, I had a baby, so.
you know, you don't need to be sorry about having a baby. Uh, but yeah, yeah, The Secret Agent we watched a few weeks ago, and then Sentimental Value just hit VOD. So we're definitely going to be talking about those two movies next week, in addition to some of the other international films that were nominated as well, trying to fill out that category. But I mean, overall, I'm not too surprised with the overall list here. A lot of these were expected. We have again a couple of surprises with Begonia and F1, but it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that it
Mhm.
could have happened. It's not like it was like, whoa, this movie came out of nowhere. Um, but yeah, and then as we're kind of going through, a lot of stuff happened within the last 2 weeks. As far as the award season is concerned, the Producers Guild's nominations dropped, the Directors Guild nominations dropped, the Screen Actors Guild, or I'm sorry, Actors Awards nominations dropped. They changed the name on us. And so instead of like to avoid redundancy, we're going to be talking about those nominations within the best picture nomination so we can keep this conversation flowing and not saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So with that, talking about because also there was the Golden Globes that happened, and we're gonna be talking about the winners within those categories as well. And the lost my place. Oh, there we go. And so the Golden Globe winner for Best Picture Drama went to Hamnet, and Best Picture Musical or Comedy went to One Battle After Another, and the winner for Best Cinematic Achievement went to Sinners. So those were the winners in those Best Picture categories at the Golden Globes. So I think those Hamnet kind of went up a little bit because of winning Best Picture Drama. One Battle After Another, that's the one to beat. It's been sweeping in these award shows. It won for critics. It won for Golden Globes. It's a front runner. One battle after another is a clear front runner in this category. Probably right underneath it, we're probably looking at Sinners, and then right underneath that is probably Hamnet. That's my guess about the top three that are going into to winning the Best Picture category. But who knows? It's truly anyone's game.
Yeah, because to be honest, like all those movies are great. Like
Yeah,
there's just so many great films this year that are nominated. So it's gonna be a hard year, which is a good problem to have. These are great movies.
yeah, this is a really good problem to have. Moving over to the Producers Guild Awards, the nominations for Outstanding Producer for Theatrical Motion Picture were almost identical to the Oscar Best Picture nominations, with the exception of Weapons was nominated instead of The Secret Agent. So The Secret Agent was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Weapons took that slot in the Producers Guild. Interesting
Yeah,
that
that's
Weapons was in that conversation. I just find that just purely fascinating that
yeah.
people are talking very highly of that film, and I just don't see it at that level. It was good, but not at that level.
I am with you 100%, and I feel that that conversation translates to when we talk about supporting actress when we get to that category. I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, all right. I was very
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I was also very surprised with the nom, but yeah, we'll get to that when we get to supporting actress. All right, let's move on to best director.
All right, so we have Hamnet, Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, ooh, Joaquin Trier for Sentimental Value. I really hope I didn't fuck that up, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. So this is it's gonna be another hard category.
Again, a category that Paul Thomas Anderson has been sweeping at the other award shows, so it's his award to win there. But I don't know, man. I'm with Ryan Coogler. Like I mean, Chloe Zhao has won the award before. This is also Ryan Coogler's time to shine. Like this is his movie, his moment, and like those are like the front runners. Also, not to be not for nothing. Josh Safdie made one hell of a movie with Marty Supreme, a well-deserved nomination there.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, so like again, it's as far as like which ones we enjoyed more, it's debatable, but we have some great nominations here for
I
sure.
mean, one battle after another. I mean, there's just what he did storytelling wise through the camera work, just how he tied everything together. Like for me, one battle after another is a clear front runner. I mean, but the same thing can
Yeah,
be said for Ryan Coogler and Sinners. I mean, that was like Sinners is just a collaborative experience. Like there's
it
just
really is.
there's so many different things that are hitting at the peak level of filmmaking that it's kind of hard to pinpoint what's the strongest.
Hmm. Um, you want to hit this one as well?
Yes. So we have the 17-year-old
Oh, it's
directors.
before that.
Wait. Oh, snubs. So we're looking. Yeah, I guess I can kind of agree with this. So we have Guillermo del Toro being snubbed for Frankenstein, which he was nominated for at the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice and Directors Guild Award. Jafar Pahani it's just an accident. Golden Globe nom didn't get the directing nom. I think the one I would probably rotate out is Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, just because I
Interesting.
would have loved to have seen Guillermo del Toro be nominated for Frankenstein, because Frankenstein is
Yeah,
just an incredible movie.
it's kind of crazy that he got snubbed for that movie.
Yeah,
Again, it's who you switch out. We're kind of talking. We haven't seen Sentimental Value yet, so I'm not sure what the directorial achievement there is just yet. But I mean, the fact that Guillermo del Toro got the nom for Golden Globes, Critic Choice, and the Directors Guild is kind of crazy, and then he didn't get it for the Oscars. So clearly, that was a huge snub on that one. And then again, because of Jafar Panhani got it for Golden Globe, he just he didn't get it for the critics, but he didn't get it for Directors Guild. But again, still snubbed that he got it somewhere and then not for the big one. But yeah, then now we can go over to the other graphic. These are the nominees for the Directors Guild of America Awards, and as you can see, very similar
yeah.
to what the Oscars are. The only difference here is that Guillermo del Toro was nominated at the Directors Guild instead of uh, Joaquin Tier, um, or Joaquim Tier for Sentimental Value. He was not nominated at the Directors Guild, but they just swapped spots there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
To me, the big snub there is Guillermo del Toro. Like Frankenstein's was
100%.
an incredible film.
I think to me, in my opinion, without seeing Sentimental Value, this looks like the right list to me at the Directors Guild.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. But I could be eating my words next week and like, you know what? That movie was pretty good. Uh, but we'll get there. The Golden Globe winner for Best Director was Paul Thomas Anderson. So again, he is the one to beat in this category. Moving on to Best Lead Actor, we have Timothy Chalamet in Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, and Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, well deserved nomination there. Incredible in Sinners.
I mean, he's so good that you forget that he's playing two characters playing off of himself.
Yes,
Like that's what you forget that that it's one person doing double work. Like that
100%.
in itself is a feat in itself. Like it's incredible how he was able to pull that both of those roles off seamlessly.
Yeah, I think Leonardo DiCaprio was had a fun performance in One Battle After Another. But my opinion, the award, it's Timothy Chalamet's to beat. He
Mm,
gave one hell of a performance with Marty Supreme. He is Marty Supreme.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, to me, those the two front runners there are Michael B. Jordan and Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you there. Some of the snubs from that category is George Clooney and Jay Kelly, Jesse Plemons in Begonia, and Joel Egerton in Train Dreams, Oscar Isaac in Frankenstein. I believe uh, the Jesse Plemons was nominated at. Do I still have? Yes, I do. I believe Jesse Plemons had yes, Jesse Plemons had the Screen Actors Guild Award nomination. Um, and so he got it there, but did not get it uh at the Oscars, which is interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I'm kind of surprised by that. The other one I'm really surprised about is Joel Egerton for Train Dreams. I
Yeah,
think
he
he
did. He
definitely
gave one hell of a performance as well.
like that to
Without
me.
seeing Blue Moon and Ethan Hawke's performance, like I feel like for me, that's the first one I would have traded out.
Yeah, I mean he is that movie. Like it's basically just him, and you're kind of living the experience with him, and it's kind of surprising that he didn't get recognized for that. But then the movie's nominated for Best Picture, but he is the movie, so
Right.
arguably it's like him and the cinematography are like the main two key points of that film.
Very true. Very true. Again, I'm really curious to see Ethan Hawke's performance, to see, there. But again, compared to the Actors Guild Award, like I said, Jesse Plemons got the nominations at the Actors Award, instead of Wagner Moura, who got the nomination for the Oscars. So those are the only two differences between the two categories. So clearly that was like the flop there. And in both award shows, Ethan Hawke was the constant. So again, he might have delivered a hell of a performance, but so did Jesse Plemons.
Yeah,
That was a great performance by him. Going into the Golden Globe winners, we have Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent for Best Lead Actor in a Drama, and Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme for Best Lead Actor in a Musical or Comedy, coming from the Golden Globes. So again, looking at those are clearly our two front runners. However, I think Timothy Chalamet has a little bit on the edge on that.
yeah. All right. So moving over to Best Lead Actress, we have Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue, Renate Renizve from Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. Some of the snubs: Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good. She was nominated at the Golden Globes. This one was a big one for me. Chase Infinity from One Battle After Another. She was nominated at Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, and
Actors Awards.
Actors Awards. And then the other one was Samantha Freed for The Testament of Anne Lee. The one I was really surprised about was Chase Infinity because I thought, once again, from One Battle After Another, I thought she was incredible. Just how she played off of Leonardo DiCaprio, and just she was able to just match up with all these elite top tier actors, and then she kind of just held her own throughout that film.
Yes, she really did, and, even comparing it to the Screen Actors Guild, Renette Renziv, from Sentimental Value was the big surprise there. She was not nominated, in the Actors Award, the Screen Actors Guild. Chase Infinity was, in addition to all the other nominations as well, but at the end of the day, looks like she, kind of edged out over Chase Infinity, which is kinda crazy because she did give one hell of a performance in that movie as well. We have yet to see Kate Hudson's performance in Song Sung Blue, but she did get the Screen Actors nom. And again, same with Rose Byrne. Have not seen her performance yet either. So curious to see how those performances are, to see why, or trying to just compare why Chase Infinity didn't get the Oscar, which she seemed like a clear front runner for, and surprisingly just didn't get it. Um, and then going into the Golden Globe winners, we have Jessie Buckley winning it for Hamnet for Best Drama, Lead Actor in a Drama, and then Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, winning for Best Lead Actress in Musical or Comedy. So again, Rose Byrne coming out with a win here. Jessie Buckley, however, is the clear front runner.
Yeah.
She's been sweeping on the other award shows, but I will say Emma Stone gave one hell of a performance in Begonia as well. Her and Jessie Buckley really gave great performances in Begonia.
The thing, I, I kind of have an edge for Jessie Buckley just because, like, out of everything that I watched in that movie, she was the main constant for me. Like,
Mhm.
especially the scene at the end where you seeing her like process grief live, like in the moment, and it feels real.
Yes.
It felt very real watching her have that experience on camera.
Yeah, 100%. And like we had our own feelings about the movie as a whole, mainly about pacing, but it was still a good movie regardless.
Yes.
And definitely Jessie Buckley was a standout in that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, all right, moving on to best actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein, Surprise nomination of Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Delroy Lindo came out of nowhere with that nomination. I mean, he was really good in Sinners, but he wasn't talked about at all.
Yeah, that was like, oh, okay. Like I just kind of came. It did kind of come out of nowhere.
The big snub in that category, Delroy Lindo kind of stole it from Paul Mescal, who was nominated at the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, and the Actors Awards. And like he was a front runner. He wasn't winning, but he was a front runner to get it. And remember, Jacob Elordi won the Critics' Choice, and Stellan Skarsgård won at the Golden Globe. So like he wasn't winning, but he was definitely given the nomination. For him not getting it in at the Oscars was quite a surprise. However, I will say this: he was not in the movie a lot,
Mm.
even though the movie was not centered around him, but he was definitely a huge focal point in that movie. But yet, it was definitely Jesse Buckley's movie for sure. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
but I find it just really interesting that what they saw in Delroy Lindo was more than what they saw in Paul Mescal.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it. A nomination go to Miles Canton. I think
Hmm.
I think I would have much. Not, I mean, I liked Delroy in the movie, but I think Miles Canton gave a much stronger performance.
I 100% agree. Yeah, he did get snubbed for that. If we're going to go for Sinners, Miles Canton would have been the one for me.
Yeah, and then for me, this I mean, and I know we're not talking predictions, but the front runner for me there is Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein. Like he
He
literally
has,
he carried that movie. Like
yeah,
he is Frank. I mean, he literally is Frankenstein. But it's just so interesting, just coming in 9 weeks before shooting, and being able to deliver such an all star performance that literally carries the movie.
yeah. Honestly, this is anyone's game, in my opinion. Like this category could literally go to anybody. Like they all had strong
Yeah.
supporting roles,
Yes, I agree.
especially with Stellan Skarsgård walking the win, taking the win like at the Golden Globes. Haven't seen the movie yet. If you win in another category, you're already in the front runner. And so far, those two are only going to Jacob Elordi and Stellan Skarsgård. So, like, clearly those are the two front runners. But any one of those could just sweep, kind of just take it. Like, depending on the day, like how good are these movies doing at the award circuit when it comes down to it. So, really interested to see what comes out of this award. Like I said, compared to the Screen Actors compared to the Actors Awards for Male Actor in a Supporting Role, we have similar nominations, with the exception of Paul Mescal being nominated at the Screen Actors Guild Awards instead of Delroy Lindo. So yeah, and another person that got snubbed was Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. He got an early nomination at the Critics' Choice, got nothing for Golden Globes, and again nothing for the Oscars.
All right, and then we're moving on to actress in a supporting role. We have Elle Fanning in Sentimental Value, Inga Itzbader Lilius in Sentimental Value. This one we kind of mentioned earlier, but a major surprise. Amy Madigan in Weapons, great performance. Just really surprised to see it being nominated, like actually nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah,
Wunmi Mosaku in Sinners, she was absolutely fantastic. Tiana Taylor, she was standout performance in One Battle After Another. This is another one that's going to be kind of hard to decide, and I think we'll have a full. I mean, Sentimental Value is literally taking up 2 slots here for supporting role.
yeah.
So, I mean, this movie is apparently has a lot to deliver.
Yeah, seriously. Let's talk about weapons for a second. Great performance. I don't see it here, especially for what got snubbed. First, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good got nominated for the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, and the Actors Awards. She was a clear frontrunner in that category, and she did. I mean, she has not been winning in those categories, and Amy Madigan did win at the Critics' Choice, which was surprising in and of itself.
Yeah.
But like, I just find it interesting that like not like Ariana Grande getting the snub for that is pretty big. What's bigger, in my opinion, is Odessa Ozon.
From Marty Supreme.
who from Marty Supreme. She got the
100%.
she got the actors. No, she got the actors award. It's really hard to make sure I get that right. The Actors Awards nomination. Odessa got the nomination for that. She didn't get it for the Critics' Choice or the Golden Globe, but I think that is a well-deserved nomination for Odessa. Like Ariana Grande, yes, I think she deserved it, but she also got the nomination last year for the same performance she did and a similar performance she did from the between the two movies. So like her not getting it and giving it to somebody else, I understand that. But Odessa had a great performance in Marty Supreme, and I think it was way better than Amy Madigan. I'm sorry.
And here's the thing, like if you've seen Weapons, like Amy Madigan is a figure who comes in. First of all, she comes off later on in the film,
Hmm.
and like I, we didn't even you don't even get a full exploration of her character. It's like what is it about her role that is this significant? Because I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think it's a good performance. It's great for the movie.
Yes,
Like it's
for the
performance
movie.
for the movie. But again, even Weapons as a whole, I'm just surprised that we're getting this much amped over this film that's getting like this type of attention. I just personally don't see it. I like Zach Kreger. I'm very excited for his movies. If there was any movie that should have been getting this attention, would have been Barbarian, not
Yeah,
this one.
yeah, I agree.
But that's I guess neither here or there. Again, compared to the Actors Awards for a female actor in a supporting role, it was quite different. Again, Ariana Grande and Odessa got the nomination instead of um, Amy Madigan and Igna Bazdaughter for Sentimental Value. So two nominations were different from each category. And then at the Golden Globes, the winner was at the Golden Globes, the winner was Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. So in this particular sense, she is the front runner since she won the Golden Globes, and I guess Amy Madigan's up there too because she got the critics. So
I
very similar
guess.
to see how the Screen Actors kind of take away on those winners to see who's kind of the front runner in here. But I think this is probably Tiana Taylor's time to shine here. That's just my opinion, just based on what I've been seeing. But again, I haven't seen Sentimental Value. I'm curious to see how those performances
All right.
are. Is it me or you? I already
Issue.
lost track.
Issue. Original screenplay.
For best original screenplay, we have Blue Moon. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Not too many snubs in this category. The only snub that people claim to say that it was Weapons, not getting it for best original screenplay. I couldn't tell you what I would take out, and I haven't seen 3 of those movies. I haven't seen Blue Moon, I haven't seen It Was Just an Accident, and I haven't seen Sentimental Value. So, I don't know where Weapons would have fit into that. I do think it was an original story, that's for sure. I'm not sure if it was the best original story.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
I to me, just off rip, Marty Supreme and Sinners is the front runners in this category. Um, It was, the Golden Globes doesn't have, adapted and original separated, so the award went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another,
Mm,
but as you can see here, One Battle After Another is an adapted screenplay, and Sinners is an original screenplay, so I think this is Ryan Coogler's to lose. This might be the category, if it's not Best Director, that he walks away with an Oscar.
you think so?
I think so. I'm just early predictions. I think this is the category that he's gonna win the Oscar for. Because
Uh,
it's the only one he's not put up against Paul Thomas Anderson in one battle after another. He like, get out of here.
get out of here.
This is his to win. He won at the Critics' Choice. So yeah, I have strong feelings about that.
Well, let's move over to adapted screenplay, which One Battle After Another is on this list. We also
Mhm.
have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Train Dreams. Yeah, this one is gonna be hard because
That's a strong
it's fucking
but that's a
strong.
strong category.
All of them. Like you can make a case for every single one of these movies to win.
Yeah, and the snub there is No Other Choice, which was a clear not a clear, but it was like a front runner for the Oscars. No Other Choice walked away with 0 nominations this year. It was an international a South Korean, international film. It's in theaters right now. I was actually hoping it was get the win because 'cause I'm like, "It's already here. I don't gotta search for this
Yeah.
one." But it didn't happen, and so, yeah, kinda surprised. I don't know much about that movie, but I heard a lot of people really liked it.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see it. It's getting it's got a lot of positive buzz, even though it's not nominated for anything. Like it
Yeah,
looks
I'm
very
very
good.
I wanna see it anyway,
Same,
like, just because of the buzz that was surrounding it.
same.
And then the Golden Globe winner, like I said before, was one battle after another. Again, they don't separate the writing categories, so it's just one big screenwriter a screenplay. Um, and yeah, so and then some here's some other things that I wanted to mention from the other categories. Again, big surprises to some, but which movies walked away with 0 awards, 0 nominations were Wicked for Good, Jay Kelly, No Other Choice, the Testament of Anne Lee. That the Testament of Anne Lee we haven't really talked about. Amanda Seyfried was being talked about um for best actress, and it was kind of just teetering on that line of like maybe getting some nominations. It was kind of in the conversation, but not really. But it could have been a surprise nomination movie, and they end
Mm.
up not walking away with anything. Jay Kelly, a big surprise. There was a an early front runner in the award season. A lot of people were talking about it. It got recognition at the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, and then ended up walking away with nothing here. So that's kind of surprising. What do you think about Jay Kelly?
I mean, I love Jay Kelly. I thought it was a great film. I thought it had a great message. I mean, I remember even just for the writing. I mean, I remember we kind of went over it a little bit. It was just,
Mhm.
it was just a well crafted narrative. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it. I don't think it's for the negative of Jay Kelly. I just think that there's so many other heavy hitters that kind of topple over it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then Wicked for Good. We had talked about this as well. Wicked for Good. I mean, it's very, very clear. Wicked was, and we talked about this in our Wicked for Good review, but Wicked was far a better film than Wicked for Good. The
Yeah.
energy, the atmosphere, I wouldn't, the performances were kind of on par from the first movie. Like nothing's wrong with the performances. Cynthia Erivo didn't not get a nomination. Ariana Grande not get a nomination. But I think to our credit, what we mentioned even last year was, are the Oscars going to recognize the same thing again? Like the same performances, the same production design, the same costumes? And clearly the answer is no.
Yeah. I mean, how can you nominate it again? I mean, you've already recognized it. You can't recognize the same set that you've already recognized before. So to me,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And I guess just because the energy around the first one was so high, and then like the lack of recognition towards the second one has kind of made it kind of fall flat almost.
Yeah, I think that's honestly what it was. Like the lack of hype that came around the second movie after it came out. I think it kind of come down on a downswing a little bit.
I do.
And then it was also worth noting it was not recognized at the Golden Globes for Best Musical or Comedy, but it was recognized nomination for Best Cinematic Achievement. So clearly, we already saw that it was going on the decline on some of these. But I think it was well deserved nominations for the first movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
I agree.
yeah, I
I am kind of curious. I am surprised that it didn't get for best song for "Girl in the
mm,
Bubble" or "No Place
that's
Like
right.
Home."
It did all that work so it could get nominated for Best Song and nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. That's crazy. You're absolutely right. Um, okay.
So now we got,
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that one. Sorry, go ahead.
and that's why I did that because I figured you forgot.
I did forget. Yes, I did.
So also animated feature, we have Arco. To me, this was a big surprise. Was Elio? Like it kind of fell under the radar. I feel like it didn't hit as hard as people wanted it to. Like maybe it was gonna be a sleeper. It kind of hit. Maybe it's kind of in the same realm as the other Pixar movie that did well that way, Elemental, where
Mhm.
it wasn't a hit in the theaters, but it kind of slowly gained popularity after it went out on Disney Plus and
Yeah.
kind of sat for a while. Like when it was out in the theaters in the summer, it didn't really do well. It was considered a flop. But I really
Yeah.
enjoyed Elio, so I'm happy to see that it's getting some love for the nomination. And we have K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, that movie wasn't it. It's not even a movie. It's like more of an experience.
Yeah,
It
it
came
really
in
is.
it came into theaters for a weekend and was number 1 in the box office. Even though you
Mhm.
can watch the same thing at home on Netflix.
Absolutely.
Little Amelie, Amelie, Amelie,
Okay. Amelie?
or the character of Rain, sure. And Zootopia 2, which was a smash hit, was Disney's smash hit from last year. It is kind of nice, I feel like previous years Disney hasn't been like throwing out heavy hitters, but this year we've got 2 Disney movies that are nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna defend Elio here. I put it as my top 5 movies of 2025. If you're listening to last week's episode, it was landed on my number 4. It's a great movie,
It
and I've
is.
watched it twice, and I've cried twice. Like to me, it's a very emotional film, and I really wish it got more love. And again, I feel vindicated that because it got the nomination for best animated feature, because I think it deserves it. It's a great movie. And then I there's I could talk about Elio all day, but really K-pop Demon Hunters, it's that's the movie to beat right there.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely. That's the one you got to fight. So
that's yeah, it's not happening. Um, K-pop Demon Hunter, you're right. It's an experience. It's a great film. I've also seen that movie twice. It's very infectious. The music, it's they're bangers, man.
they are. They
They,
are.
they got bangers on there. I'm not sure if the Oscars are doing performances this year. They didn't do it last year, but I don't know if they're going to do it this year. But they'll be really missing out. They don't have a golden performance up there, or find a way to squeeze it in there somehow.
They really should. I mean, just between, can you imagine seeing "I'd Lie to You" recreated on stage, like
Oh my god.
like from Sinners?
Yeah.
What an experience to watch that on film. But I would love to see a live performance of that song on stage. That and Golden. Although, and now we talked about this before. When it comes to K-pop Demon Hunters, this is what it sounds like is clearly the better song.
Yes.
But
Yes,
Golden is like the pop hit, which whatever, that's fine.
it's the radio. It's the radio hit maker.
It's the radio hit, but this is what it sounds like is the better song, obviously.
It 100%. But I
Okay.
mean, it doesn't matter. Golden. If I said this when we talked about it, Golden is winning an Oscar.
You think
I
it's gonna
I
it's gonna
said it
take it?
from the beginning.
You
Go
did.
back and listen to that episode. I said that Golden was gonna win an Oscar, and it is right there. Got the nom. And I'm not sure if I said it then, but K-pop Demon Hunters is gonna win the Oscar. Telling you.
Okay.
Like
All right.
none of these movies can compare to that. I haven't seen Arco or Little Amelia or the character of Rain. I haven't seen those movies yet. However, it's K-pop Demon Hunters that have been sweeping.
Yeah.
And sure, Zootopia 2? Fine. Okay.
It was a good movie. It's good.
All right. Um, um, but yeah, I want to focus on this 2 shot. This one irks me. This nomination right here, not that one yet. No, not that one. That
Okay.
was 2 shot. This is important. Okay. So as we mentioned before, Wicked for Good, Jay Kelly, No Other Choice, Testament of Alien walked away with 0 nominations. Another movie that got 0 nominations is Superman. Now, it was a front runner for visual effects. A lot of people are talking about Superman to win best visual effects. I'm not saying that Superman was best picture quality, but again, like it was up there to get an Oscar. It would have been kind of crazy if like it walked away with best visual effects, James Gunn's first DC movie, coming away with an Oscar nominated film. However, this this is what pisses me off. Instead of Superman gets nominated, it's instead went to Jurassic World Rebirth. Are you fucking kidding me?
Man, it's your favorite movie.
What? What are you talking about? No, sir. That is not right. I know
That's wrong.
movies. That's not the right one.
That's wrong. The dinosaur
That-
movie's terrible.
You know when it deserved to get best visual effects and it won was the first one. And after
Mm.
that, it's the same dinosaur. It's the same stuff. Um, sure. Are the dinos impressive? They've been upping the game on the dinosaurs every single year. Every time they make one of these movies. Jurassic World, the first one I can see getting the nominations, even if it did or not. I don't remember. It might have, but like getting the edge off of that, it's been a while since we've seen those dino movies back in 2015. But like we're 10 years deep on these dinos movies now. They've been popping them out every 2 to 3 years. What?
Yeah.
Like, are we after Godzilla minus one? They're like, you know what's great visual effects? Big monsters. And so, like we got to give it to the big monster. But Superman got a big monster, got a big old kaiju in there. Went from small to big. Watch the movie; it happened. So, like, I don't know. I that one baffles me. And then the other one that kind of snuck in there was the Lost Bus. Got a best visual effects nomination. Uh, I saw the movie. I thought it was a good movie. I think I can see where the nomination comes from, but I'm not too mad that Superman didn't get it. I'm more mad that Jurassic World got it. But it was just very surprising that Jurassic World Rebirth is now touted as an Oscar nominated film. I hate that should not be in the same sentence.
What are you talking about, man? That is cinema. That is
E-
like it just doesn't get any better than that.
Besides, in addition to the box office and now the Oscar nomination, they're already on its way of making another Jurassic movie.
Keep making them more dinosaurs. That's what the next movie needs. More dinos.
Oh, Universal's built on dinosaurs. Anyway, now let's talk about the nope. Among the most nominations went to Sinners with a record-breaking 16 Oscar nominations. Now, mind you, there were 24 nominations, and it got 16 of them. And there are nominations that it doesn't even qualify for, like director. I'm sorry, not director. I apologize. Documentary short, live action short, animated short, documentary short. Did I say that already? Those four. There's already four there that it can't qualify for. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm missing. Um, but like
Screenplay.
almost sweeping every nomination that it can technically get. It's
Yeah.
really incredible.
What's the other one? Screenplay. Adapted screenplay.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, it can't get that one. So that's already five right there, right? Documentary short, live action short, um, animated short, one of
Animated
the screen.
feature.
That's five right there.
Animated feature.
Yep, that's six. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
I don't even. Let's see, maybe sound. I don't know. It can be all there. It can be that for all that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's so six nominations it can't qualify for. So it almost swept every category it can qualify for, which is insane. And is now stands as the most nominated film in Oscars history.
Yeah. What was the last one? Was the last one
I, I think it was up there with Titanic. I
yeah.
think Titanic had 14 nominations.
What was the other one? The one with Zoe Saldana a couple years ago.
Amelia Perez.
That's the other one. I thought that one didn't that one have some kind of record?
It had a lot, but I don't think it was that many. I could be wrong on that. But either way, Sinners has now beaten the record for the movie to receive the most Oscar nominations. Coming in pretty close is One Battle After Another with 13 nominations. A three-way tie for Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, and Sentimental Value with 9 nominations, and Hamnet received 8 nominations at the Oscars. So big year at the Oscars. Um, and a lot of great movies. Like again, I'm not mad at a lot of these nominations except for Jurassic World Rebirth. Uh, but everything kind of checks out. There's not really a ton of surprises. We talked about some of them, and but yeah, I think everything kind of pans out. I really hope Sinners wins big.
Yeah.
Sinners is an incredible movie. I think One Battle After Another might take some of its thunder, but I mean those are the two movies to beat right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, and with that, you can find all of the 2026 Oscar nominations on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. The winner of the 98th Academy Awards will be announced Sunday, March 15th, live with it'll be yes, live with returning host Conan O'Brien on ABC and Hulu. So we have 3 more years of watching the Oscars on ABC, and then as we mentioned before, we'll be reverting to YouTube, where it'll be easily accessible for everybody.
Yeah, and then also,
Uh,
just for our records, I'm gonna be everything that we reviewed that's been nominated. I'm gonna like I do every year. I'm gonna compile into a playlist to kind of just for easy. If you want to reference some of the old reviews that we did.
yeah, and I think the oldest one so far would most likely be Sinners.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
We reviewed that one back in March or April
Whenever it came
of
out.
2025. And a lot of these other ones were fairly recent. Marty Supreme was a couple of weeks ago. Frankenstein was a couple of weeks ago. One Battle After Another was around the fall. Hamnet was a couple of weeks ago. Sentimental Value will be next week's episode. So yeah, it's yeah, and it's good and thank you, Ernesto, for putting those together. Because when the Oscar comes around, we're kind of compiling all those thoughts again. And some people want to go back and listen to those episodes to hear our thoughts on them. We're not going to go back and re-talk about every single one of those movies, but that's what those episodes are for.
Exactly.
And as we start our journey down the road to the Oscars, here are some of the dates to remember on the other award shows that will help paint a clear picture on how the Oscars might shape out. The 78th Annual Directors Guild Awards ceremony will be February 7th. The 37th Annual Producers Guild Awards will be February 28th. The 32nd Annual Actors Awards will be March 1st. And the nominations are not out yet, but the 2026 Writers Guilds Awards will be March 18th, and then the week later will be the Oscars. And so I believe the Writers Guild nominations are coming out in a week or two. So when those pop out, we will talk about it then. And lastly, before we can't talk about the best without talking about the worst. The 46th annual Razzie nominations, known for nominating the worst films and performances of the year, have been announced. The 40 that's redundant. I don't know why I wrote that again. So worst picture goes to The Electric State, Hurry Up Tomorrow, Disney's Snow White, Star Trek Section 31, War of the Worlds. Uh, we've seen one of those at the very least. We saw The Electric State, and we both agreed that it was very underwhelming
Yeah.
of a film.
Yeah.
Uh, and I did see Disney Snow White, and I think it deserves more credit than Worst Picture. But I know a lot of people did not like that.
Yeah, that movie just got shit on, but that's just from the press tour and just movie
Yeah.
movie was fighting an uphill battle.
It really was. It really was. But when I saw it, I was like, you know what? This is a solid live action remake, and I really like the music.
Mm.
But again, it was the same songwriters behind The Greatest Showman and Dear Evan Hansen and Spirited and La La Land. So the music was not surprised the music is good.
Yeah.
But with everything going against it, yeah, I can see why it got this nomination. And then I'm not sure. Have you heard about War of the Worlds?
I've seen that it's bad. The one with Ice Cube. I have not seen
Yes,
it.
I haven't seen it either, nor do I plan on it, but it's I've seen clips and woof. It,
It's that rough.
it looks rough. It's rough for sure. And apparently it's a movie that was filmed during the pandemic and it took a while just to get released. So I think that's also part of it
Mm.
as well. And then Hurry Up Tomorrow was hugely panned. It was the movie starring The Weeknd.
Oh yeah, I
And
didn't see that.
and he had two rough bouts because there was Hurry Up Tomorrow and The Idol that was on HBO Max. I just both of those performances and both of those things that he was starring in just got destroyed.
Mm.
Was so interesting there. Worst actor goes to Dave Bautista in The Lost Lands, Ice Cube in War of the Worlds, Scott Eastwood in Alarum. Not familiar with that movie. Gerard Leto in Tron
Gerard?
Ares, and
You mean Jared?
sorry,
Jared Leto.
Jared. Yeah, Jared Leto.
Gerard Leto.
Jared Leto in Tron Ares, and Abel the Weekend Tesfaye in Hurry Up Tomorrow. Yeah, sure. Jared Leto in Tron Ares. I saw the movie. He's fine. It's not a very underwhelming movie as well. Great visuals, and I feel like if it was a better movie, might have gotten the nomination for best visual effects. But
Mm.
here we are. And then yeah, I can definitely see why Ice Cube is there. Worst actress goes to Ariana DeBose for Love Hurts. I can agree to that.
I was gonna say, didn't you see
Uh,
that one? You saw that one, didn't you?
I did, yeah. She wasn't great in that movie.
Okay.
Coming off a few years before, she won an Oscar for West Side Story.
Mm-hmm.
She made some interesting choices since after West Side Story. Mila Djokovic for In the Lost Lands, Natalie Portman in The Fountain of Youth. Okay, I mean that movie was fine. Rebel Wilson in Bride Hard, Michelle Yeoh in Star Trek Section One. Um, yeah, I mean those. I can't speak much about Star Trek Section One. I thought that was a TV show. I didn't realize it was a movie. But yeah, have you seen any of these movies?
I have not. I have not.
Well, I
Thankfully,
guess
unfortunately, yeah, I haven't seen. Yeah, I haven't seen any of these actually.
yeah. Well, I guess we're in. I guess you're in good company of not watching bad movies.
Yes.
And then last nomination we're going to talk about is the worst remake, rip off, or sequel. And the nominees are I Know What You Did Last Summer, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Smurfs, Snow White, and War of the Worlds. I've only seen one of them. The other ones did look bad, and I guess this is just confirming it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no interest of watching I Know What You Did Last Summer or Five Nights at Freddy's
Yeah. Even though we watched
sequel.
even though we watched the first one, but I just was not interested in the second one.
No, and it's a movie for the fans, and the fans love it, and everyone else hates it. So
Yeah.
like, it's not this. It's like same thing with Minecraft. It's like that's not my jam, but for the people who it is, you enjoy that. I'm not
Yeah.
going to waste my time on something I know I'm not going to like.
Correct.
But yeah, so the full list of the nominees can be found on Razzies.com. The winners will be announced Saturday, March 14th, which is notoriously the day before the Oscars.
Yeah.
Um, so that is wrapping up all of our movie conversation. I want to quickly dive into some of the TV winners and nominations that we were discussing. We're first going to be talking into the Golden Globes. For Best Drama Series, The Pit walked away with 2 awards for Best Drama Series and Best Actor for Noah Wiley. Pluribus took the award for Best Actress for Ray Shehorn. Great performances all around. We had talked about this before with the Critics' Choice. This is the Golden Globes is just kind of matching the Critics' Choice at this point, kind of awarding the same nominations. For comedy series, the studio won for best comedy series, and Seth Rogen won for best actor. Hacks, Jean Smart won best actress for Hacks. And moving over to the limited series, Adolescence swept with best limited series, best actor for Stephen Graham, Best Supporting Actor for Owen Cooper, and Best Supporting Actress for Aaron Doherty. And a surprise win here, Michelle Williams won for Best Actress for Dying for Sex,
Well earned.
which was a well deserved win there. She didn't walk away with the win at the Critics' Choice. She got it at the Golden Globes. Um, couldn't talk highly more about that. And then wrapping up the Golden Globe winners, you have Best Podcast went to Good Hang with Amy Palmer, which is a new category at the Golden Globes, and Best Stand Up went to Ricky Gervais, Mortality. Walking away with no wins in the TV categories of the Golden Globes was Severance, the Diplomat, Slow Horses, The White Lotus, The Bear, Abbott Elementary, Murders, Only Murders in the Building, and Nobody Wants This. So just quickly, just talking about the Golden Globes winners, since the last time we had our episode, and then some of the other film awards that we didn't talk about. Um, let's see, yeah, The Secret Agent won for best motion picture non-English language. K-pop Demon Hunters won for best animated feature and best song. And yeah, those are pretty much the only few that we did not talk about from the Golden Globes. And then very quickly, I want to talk about the Screen Actors Guild Awards, specifically for television. And walking away for best drama, best ensemble. Well, actually, best ensemble for a motion picture. Let's just kind of just talk about that one. Ernesto, can you read the graphic there?
Yeah, so the nominee, we have the Actors Awards. There's Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series, and Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series.
Well, the nominations for motion picture.
Nominate. I don't have those, man.
No, on the graphic. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I didn't write them down either, so I'm kind of going off the graphic and I
Okay.
can barely read
All
it.
right, so
Yeah.
for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, it's Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. For outstanding performance in an ensemble in a drama series is The Diplomat, Landman, Pit, Severance, and The White Lotus. And ensemble, outstanding performance by an ensemble in a comedy series. We have Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, The Studio, and I can't read that, what that other one is.
Well, neither can I. Well, let's see if I can get the.
Oh, Only Murders in the Building. That's what it is.
There we go. The one that's always nominated and never wins a damn thing. Um, but yeah, and so those and when the winners come out, we'll be talking about those collectively. But yeah, just very quickly, those are the nominations for the TV categories for the 32nd annual. Now it's called the second annual Actors Awards presented by SAG-AFTRA instead of the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which rolls right up.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Very, very dumb. All right, so that is all the awards talk. That's all the conversations about that. We're wrapping this up right now, but just so you guys know, we will be the next few weeks will be surrounding the Oscar nominations. This is that time of year where we kind of take a back seat on some of the big blockbusters and just going into some of the Oscar noms. But before we wrap up our entertainment news segment, we do have one more story we want to talk about, and it's a pretty big one. Uh, Lucasfilm has released a statement announcing that after 14 years of leading the studio, excuse me, President Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from her role. Kennedy will return to full-time producing, including the studio's upcoming feature films, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and Star Wars Starfighter. Dave Filoni, who worked closely with creator George Lucas to build the Lucasfilm animation department on Star Wars The Clone Wars, and helped launch Star Wars live action series alongside Jon Favreau on The Mandalorian, will take creative leadership of the company as president and chief creative officer, and Lewin Brennan will serve as co-president. Their close collaboration and more than 30 years of combined senior executive experience will carry Lucasfilm into the next chapter of storytelling with a strong foundation of creative vision and operational leadership guiding the studio forward. That is the official press release that came from Lucasfilm. And this was kind of in the works for a while. There were a lot of rumblings that Kathleen Kennedy was going to be stepping down, and now here is the official announcement. And I am happy to say that I'm a big Dave Filoni fan. I love what he's done with the Clone Wars. I grew to really enjoy uh, Rebels, and I liked his creative choices and kind of bringing back, like, kind of collectively bringing the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy together to kind of form this vision that kind of came from The Mandalorian as well. And he also had a part in the Ahsoka series, which was not my favorite, but it was still really good. So I'm really excited to see that he is now kind of on the forefront of the creative department, very similar to how James Gunn is on the forefront of the creative department for DC Studios. And so now we have another prime creative here kind of taking charge and making some big decisions for the company.
So you're happy with this news because I like Star Wars, but I feel like I'm not in it like you are.
Yeah, yes, I am happy with this news. I think Dave Filoni was a great choice for the role. It's just now to see what comes from it. And unfortunately, we won't really see, uh, we probably won't really get to what's the word? See what he can do. I mean, we already know what he can do, but like see the impact of his creative choices for another couple of years. Because this is still coming off of like the Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter and some of the other properties that are like in the horizon. So it won't we really won't see the effect of this until another 2 to 3 years from now to see some of those bigger projects come to light. And he could be wrapping up because he was working on season 2 of Ahsoka. So now this is a completely different role. So I wonder if he has to wrap up those responsibilities before he dives into, his new job.
So do you think that he has some cleanup to do from what Kathleen Kennedy has left? Do you think are we in a bad place to where he's got to do a lot of redirect to kind of fix whatever's going on, or is she just kind of handing it off and we're going in a new direction? Like how are you feeling about this? Like, are you sad that Kathleen's gone?
I mean, I think Kathleen Kennedy, I mean, she again for 14 years, so we're probably looking at about what around the time that she was probably in charge when The Force Awakens came out, and there were some interesting choices that came after The Force Awakens. I really like The Force Awakens. Um, The Last Jedi I enjoyed, but it's barely a very questionable movie. And then I was not a fan of Rise of Skywalker. And then since then, we have not gotten a movie on screen.
Mm,
And then, Solo, the rise, the Solo, a Star Wars story was fine. I don't think it was bad as a lot of people claimed it was at the time. And then there are also some interesting decisions. I think from a lot of good Star Wars, there was also questionable Star Wars. Like it's been 50-50 for me this entire time.
mm,
As like I said, as much as there was oh man, I loved Andor. But then Ahsoka was, like, lukewarm for me. And
mm.
it's like and then, like, Obi-Wan was, like, lukewarm, but then I really liked The Mandalorian, but not the newer seasons. So I would say less cleanup, just more of, like, just make these stories matter.
Mm.
Like, why are
Okay.
we getting these stories? The Skeleton Crew was another great show, from the Star Wars library. I think that really stood the test of a standalone story within the Star Wars universe, and I feel like that is where it gets more interesting rather than trying to connect everything together. I think that's why The Mandalorian works so well. And then the season 2 came out, and then it was all like kind of interconnecting some of the bigger stories, and that worked really well. But then, season 3, it didn't hit. I'm really curious with this movie how that turns out. And compared to the television show. So I think there's less course correction, just more fine tuning.
Mm.
Let's fine tune some of these stories. Let's make some of these stories matter. Let's make Star Wars cool again. Like,
Yeah.
I think let's also bring it back to the theater. Like, it's been a hot minute since we've seen Star Wars in the theater and, like, a lot of Star Wars television, and I'm fine with Star Wars television, but, like, that franchise was born in a movie theater. I would really like to get back to that.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. All right, well, maybe this is a good time for me to jump back on because I feel like I kind of fell off Star Wars. I think I fell off after Mandalorian season 2. Like, I didn't watch Ahsoka. I didn't watch Boba Fett. I
Oh,
haven't watched
that
Skelly.
wasn't good either.
That's what I mean. Like, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I think if there was anything that I think you should watch is, like, just to get your the good vibes with Star Wars again, either Andor or Skeleton Crew.
okay, okay.
And then, like, kinda get into Ahsoka after that. And I know, like, I think we both have seen Obi-Wan, and we both agree that it wasn't, like, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there were some things I liked from Obi-Wan. Some of the stuff in the end, like,
Yeah,
the re-meet of Vader and Obi-Wan, I thought it was good. But other than that, it was fine.
yeah. Also, there was the Acolyte that got really panned,
Oh
but
yeah,
there was,
I forgot
I would
about that.
argue, one of the best lightsaber battles I've ever seen, right up there with Mustafar in episode 3. That was insane of an episode. Like, that show was wrongly, panned, but they're, like, hidden in some of, like, the not so great stuff. There was, like, one badass episode in there, and I was like, "Damn." That's lightsaber fighting right there, and, I guess the other show that kinda went by the wayside. So, again, for a lot of the good that Star Wars has, there's a lot of bad, and right now, there hasn't been outputting a lot of content, which is probably a good thing. I rather them fine-tune some of the stuff and, but yeah, I think that's where we're at. Like, I don't think we were ever in a really, really bad place, but I know a lot of people wanted her out of the president's chair, and, again, I think she was wrongly accused of, being the face of Lucasfilm and then kind of getting all the hate when it was like if they want to hate Star Wars, they blame Kathleen Kennedy. If they wanted to love Star Wars, they went to Dave Filoni. She never got the love either when even it was good.
Mm,
So I think this was a long time coming regardless. But uh but but yeah, I think this is a sign, a good sign going upwards on
okay.
But yeah, that is all the awards coverage we're going to be doing today and all the entertainment news. As always, you can follow us on our social media channels on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and nope. You can always follow us. Nope. One more time. You can always follow us on our Facebook page at Box Office Bingers and our Instagram and Threads page at Box Office underscore Bingers for all the latest and breaking news. We're going to post it over there first, and then we'll come back in the show and we'll talk about it. So, with all of that out of the way, now We're going to be covering our spoiler review of the week, which is 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Ernesto, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on the film. Talking too much.
Are you okay? I feel like I broke you.
I got some water. Yeah,
Okay.
I got some water. Just give me a reset.
Uh I actually really enjoyed this. I mean, I feel like we got a great human story within this zombie universe. So the fact that the way that they're able to do that, I think was amazing. I mean, we have standout performances from Ralph Fiennes. Um, I really, the score, the sound design, like the production design of the Bone Temple that they built. I mean, it's just, to me, it's incredible. And these are things that I really loved from the first one. So I was really looking forward to seeing these things come back in the second one. I feel like we were able to get that. I mean, just crazy moment, like the opening scene. Jimmy's sacrificing a follower because his father, old Saint Nick or Satan, spoke to him. It kind of sets up their warped reality, into this faith, and how using his faith to control his followers. I also really love the dichotomy between uh, Jimmy like skinning and killing people versus Ralph Fiennes' character, Dr. Kelson. He's like, he's healing and honoring the dead. And because the movie it almost feels like it's a back and forth between both of them. Um, in the time, Nia DaCosta did a interview with Time, and she calls it a clash of erratic violence versus warm humanist romance. So it's very, going for what Jimmy's portraying basis what Dr. Kelson is portraying, and like a clear indication of that is the barnyard's torture scene. I think was fucking crazy.
That was crazy. Um, yeah, I personally think that I think over. Mm.
You could just say you didn't like it, Matt.
It's not that I didn't like it.
You
It's
just didn't
that
enjoy
I
it.
think I come to realize that after these two movies, that this oh, oh my phone says my phone's trying to talk too. Um, I think it is not 100% my jam.
Mm,
This type of storytelling, this type of world, the messages that they're trying to say, it's not hitting the way that I think they think it's hitting. Like some of the messages like that are deep, and I feel it like, yeah, this is a deep message you're putting at me. I'm not feeling it.
mm,
Like I think it's like the presentation of it all just doesn't warrant me to feel anything, even though I do recognize what you're trying to do in these moments. I'm not putting down what you're cooking. I'm not whatever the phrase is. Uh, but like I can't. I think it's either the pacing or sometimes just the point.
mm.
It's like I feel like we did a lot of this to go here, and I just don't get it. Like even Jimmy, like I never really fully understood his motive, and like aside from him just wanting to be a cult leader. And and I know he had that conversation with Ralph Fiennes, and like you saw a little bit of his psyche a little bit there. Like he's not entirely crazy. He knows exactly what he's doing in these times. But I think there should be more. Like you're just doing this so you can. You're skinning people alive because you want to. If that's what I'm supposed to believe, to me that's not good enough. I need more of a reason why you're doing this rather just because I'm chaotic and I just want to.
See, I
And I feel like
actually
the first movie gave me a little bit of nuance to it, even though I feel like in the second half of the movie kind of lost me. Whereas this movie felt very singular, even though I liked some of the imagery that I got from this
see. I felt Jimmy was just processing like his trauma. Like he was a little kid. He was
movie.
in a room watching Teletubbies, and then he gets trapped behind the door, and then he watches everybody in his house gets like brutally slaughtered, and then he runs to the church where his dad is, and then he watches his dad become. He says to Dr. Kelson, Ralph Fiennes' character, that he saw his dad lead the charge for the new hell on earth. So it's almost like he thought, well, this is the way the world is supposed to be. I guess we are in hell. I guess I've been worshiping the wrong person. Like, to me, that was his moment of turning to the faith of Satanism. I mean, he saw it play out. He saw it play out in real world. Like, he saw his dad, the priest, become the leader of this zombie crew when they infected him.
Yeah, and I can 100% see that, and it kind of seeing like how that messes with your psyche and how you decided to then now carry yourself and become this leader and have these people follow you and trying to find Satan and kind of just making shit up as he goes along, and he
Yes.
like kind of feeds on like murder, destruction, hate, and just being a pure psychopath and getting people to kind of follow along with that mantra. And I don't know, I just felt like when we got to the end of the day and just getting his comeuppance at the very end of the movie, to me, it's like, okay, a bad guy lost. It's like evil loses again, I guess. I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't get down with the overall, like, to me, it was just very singular. I feel like even though I saw there was depth, but I didn't feel depth.
I get that.
I just I feel like they were trying and I just wasn't getting it. And also again, I think the pacing with it too. I think this movie was incredibly slow. And I didn't really like it is not a horror movie. Again,
No.
I don't it's a little bit of that, but the 28 years later got some moments of suspense, and it definitely fed into the zombies of it all and the infected. And then we saw Ray Fiennes' character had a different approach to that. And I think overall, even though that movie was also kind of all over the place, I think it was more well-rounded because when he's with Aaron Taylor Johnson, those moments were intense.
Hmm.
And I felt like I never got that in this movie.
I can agree with that. I think the one time where you kind of get any kind of amped up is the train scene after Samson is like basically cured. Also,
Mhm.
that I mean, just as something that I thought was really funny, who knew the cure to being a zombie was to just get high on morphine with the doctor?
And that's also the crazy shit too. I like in that sense. It's like, okay, to your point, like, it's very simple, like, "Oh, he just got high a few times, and then he's okay."
Moon,
But what I also
moon.
found but I think, honestly, that was the best part of the movie, like, seeing the transition,
Yeah,
seeing the care that Ralph Fiennes put in these people, like, he could have just killed him, and probably should have just killed him. He's a big dude.
he's an
Like, we
alpha.
saw all
Like,
of Samson, a lot of them
yeah,
in that movie,
yeah, swinging,
in both movies,
swinging
and, like, the
around.
fact just swinging around, Samson just swinging around. I thought it was just really endearing to see, like, the slow turn of his, animalistic state, and, like, really I think they really phrased it very nicely in the movie. I think they described it that way. It's like where, like, you're not fully infected, you're just like your mind is clouded.
Yes.
It can be treated, and he was the only person that had the patience and the will to try to figure it out, whether he was actively trying to do it or not, but he had the patience to be like, "Hey, these infected people are still people, and, they shouldn't deserve to die." And that patience and that care evolved into finding sort of a cure.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. I think that ties to kind of like his like mantra of memento mori, like which is something that I love. I don't know if and Matt, I haven't told, maybe I haven't told you yet, but I actually got it. I actually have memento mori tattooed on my arm.
Really?
Yeah. See?
Is that new?
Yes, sorry. This is new over the past couple of weeks. I actually have
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you can, I can see if I can get the camera to pick it up. Uh, yeah. See, I got memento mori tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
Right there. That's because I believe in that sentiment, and maybe I just have a biased opinion when I come to this, just because I really, when him saying it and kind of living it out and seeing that thing being troped out through the movie, to me it hit for me. Like it just makes sense. Like he's living a memento mori, remember death, even all the way up until the very last moment. Um,
Yeah.
like Jimmy comes to him. They think that he is Satan, and he uses Dr. Kelson, Ralph Fiennes' character. He's like, well, I need you to help me, otherwise I'm gonna cut you open and feed your intestines to yourself. It's like, well, I guess I don't really have a choice but to help you then. So then he helps him, and he goes through this whole scene, which that Iron Maiden scene was absolutely, I mean, it was just
It wa
glorious. It was beautiful. It was like just beautifully shot and just well crafted. Ralph Fiennes actually did the choreography himself, even the dancing with the fire and all that. Like apparently that was all him. That was all him that did
Ralph
that.
Fiennes in this role, first of all, but specifically with that scene. We've seen him do some crazy shit. We've seen him be Lord Voldemort and a whole bunch of other shit. But this right here, like I was already like, this movie was toward the end of the movie. I was already on a downswing watching this. But then that scene came up and I was like, we're doing one of these. I was like kind of laid back, like, oh, a few more minutes left, I guess. We're wrapping up on this movie. And all of a sudden he comes out with "Rah!" And then you're just like, whoa, hey buddy, what's going on here? That was commitment.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was nuts.
also kudos to the marketing team, because even I mean that scene is literally on the poster, and none of the marketing gave away the best part of the film, which was that scene right
Oh,
there. Like nothing about anything from the movie gave that away. And I saw, just regardless, like kudos to them for saving that for being a earned moment that you only get to see if you watch the movie. But going back to my
ooh, go ahead, finish yours.
what my original point was, him, like he was at the point they were going to leave. Like he did what he had to do, he did what Jimmy said, but then he looks Spike, he sees Spike's eyes and he recognizes him. So in that moment he's like, I could just let him go and I could live and everybody can live, but he chooses to save his life, because if it was him on the other side, he would want that person to save his life.
Mhm.
So it like it just showcased like how good of a human he is in his spirit. That even in that moment, he could have chosen to let them go, and he would have lived, and everybody been fine going their own way. But he chose to save this kid's life.
Yeah, as much as I enjoyed the 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 whole scene with him kind of like just kind of going out there being the Satan that he is, kind of following along with Jimmy's plan. I just wish that I just wish it was meant more. Like I said, it was more of a singular narrative. It's like the only reason why I'm doing this is so I can stay alive. I just wish there was more to that, and I wish his death was more impactful than it was. Obviously, he sacrificed himself to make sure that Spike lived and kind of move on and kind of going along his mantra. But I just wish there was just a little bit more to that, or I just wish that he didn't die because he's such a great character that you could have had this continue on further. And I feel like his death, based on everything else that was going on in this movie, didn't feel like it was as impactful as the movie felt like it was. I'm not sure if you disagree with me or that.
See, but I think that I disagree, only because I felt like, just given that we're already on this mantra of memento mori, like it made sense that he died. It made sense to the plot. Like, oh well, he needed to die for to move on, and if he didn't die, then Spike wouldn't have been able to move on to the next part of his life. He would have been stuck with Jimmy for who knows how long, or even if that would have gotten him killed. And like, he's such an important character, like he literally created the cure. I'm assuming, there's some things that are unanswered that need to be answered going into the next installment, but I think that
Mhm.
he set us up to get to the next level of what this world should be.
Yeah, and I wonder if they would. I wonder if they would just leave that there. I think that'd be really kind of haunting in a way, and really cool if like we found a way that we can cure this, but because he died and never passed along that information, nobody would ever know.
That would be
Like I think that'd be
fucking crazy, because we spent so much time with him getting high with Samson and like curing
yes.
him, that for that to be completely omitted, that would be some bullshit. Actually, like that.
I think that'd be kind of crazy. The fact that we got Cillian Murphy at the end of the movie was kind of random, even though we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wish that like to me, how the story would have gone is that this whole movie would have just been Ralph Fiennes this entire time. Like, I don't feel like Jimmy and Spike and seeing how that story continued really did much than like because I feel like at the end of 28 years later, you have this kid that's kind of facing the world and kind of going about his plans. Like he was strong enough to do that, to then immediately see him be this weak character to some degree. Like he just submits to the, not trying to die. And then we kind of see him survive trying to go along this cult. And I don't think that's like a complete opposite of where we ended the character. I'm not sure that was the whole point of that either, but I just feel like as the character of Spike, of how much he's grown from the beginning of the first movie to the end of the first movie, and then his character going into the second movie, I feel like he reverted back a little bit. And then now he's kind of has his companion that he's walking with, kind of to continue his journey. Now he's free of this cult, and now he can move on to something else. And like I feel like he kind of came out there as like, I'm brave enough to do this, to only submit to the first threat that he sees. Like he wasn't as brave as he thought, which could be a point of the movie as well.
Yeah.
I just wish that wasn't really, you know, like I wasn't a fan of that story choice. And then kind of following Jimmy and like being teased in the first movie about it, and then kind of following along his plan, which doesn't really feel like it's a plan, it's just kind of a fluid motion of chaotic thoughts, and then intercutting with Ralph Fiennes' character, where it's very thoughtful and like him not really trying to find the cure, but just seeing if he can change the infected.
Mm,
And watching how he decides to go through life, and the bone temple structure is just amazing,
hmm.
like as a production design, just to look at it looks awesome,
Yeah.
and see it all lit up with the flames and everything just made it 10 times better. I don't know, I just feel like the two things didn't really coincide together. I would have loved to see like a whole movie with just Ralph Fiennes in it, and then when we get to that point of like Jimmy coming over and be like, hey, and you're like, who's this? And then he's like, I'm just gonna kill you if you don't do what I say. And then we go through the perspective of Ralph Fiennes instead of seeing the inner cut. Like, I
Mm,
think to me that sounds like a better movie because then it leaves a surprise, like, oh shit, that's Spike underneath that mask. And who are these guys? Like a little bit of mystery involved in there. But I don't know. I think for me the main thing is the script. I wasn't 100% vibing with it, but there were a lot of other things that I did like about it. Like I do think the messages were strong in this movie,
hmm.
just weren't for me.
Yeah, I get that. Oppositely, like I actually loved the back and forth because it just reminded me of that they were playing off of opposite. They didn't coincide because they were opposites. Like, you
Mhm.
know, Jimmy's chaotic nature, skinning people alive, like torturing people alive, um,
For no
and
reason.
for no. But that's I think that was the
Yeah.
purpose. It's like that even in this infected world, the greatest threat are humans who are corrupted.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, you're right. And also, just to give credit, outstanding performances all around. Jack
Absolutely.
O'Connor, Alfie Williams, Karen Kellyman, Ralph Fiennes, especially, even Samson,
Yeah.
all of him,
Chai Lewis.
every swinging thing about him. It's all great performances all around.
Well, and the actor for that is Chai Lewis Perry, the guy who played Samson.
Samson.
I think a lot of credit to him because a lot of his performance was physical and nonverbal. I mean, he has like
Yeah,
maybe 5 lines in the entire movie, but but we were able to get from that. We were able to get so much when he's just sitting there and you just watch what his eyes do. I feel like he was telling me everything that I needed to know in the moment without words, without him saying anything. Does that make any sense?
yeah,
Like
yeah. No, 100%.
I understood his arc even without hearing him talk.
I think he had the best arc between the two movies.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
Like he could have just been the very large infected man swinging around and like just being this big threat to our heroes, our protagonists. But instead, they decided to go in a different route with it and gave his character meaning, which is
Mm,
why I really enjoyed the Ralph Fiennes and Samson stuff.
yeah, I did
Like
too.
that was
The strongest part of
pure
the film.
gold to me.
Yeah.
Strongest part of the movie, 100%. Very quickly, I want to talk about the box office and kind of compare it to 28 years later, which is quite surprising. 28 years later, the Bone Temple had a budget of $63 million.
Mm,
And man, that's a rough opening weekend, to say the least. It opened at number 2 in the box, or number 3 in the box office. 2 or 3, definitely didn't make number 1. No, it was number 2. It was number 2 in the box office, and it collected, uh, $12.5 million opening weekend. At the time of the recording, it has collected $17.7 million domestically, $14.5 million internationally, with a grand total of $30.2 million. Not a good start for the movie, and despite really great reviews, this is actually really surprising. Between the success of the first film, in addition to the great reviews that 28 years later, The Bone Temple was having, not a lot of people went to the box office. Not a lot of people went to the theaters this weekend. Maybe it could be contributing to, it's the football playoff season. Excuse me. A lot of people are watching sports right now over the weekend, college football and American football. Also, there are storms across the United States. It's winter. Not a huge drive to go to the theater if you don't want to leave your house because it's too cold outside. And there's other factors at play here, and also other things that are happening around the world. But it's quite surprising that this did not is not doing as well. And then comparatively, you have 28 years later, which had a cheaper budget, which is crazy to me, at $60 million. You would think that with the sets already built, this movie would have been cheaper. Um, but not the case. The 28 years later had a budget of $60 million, and it walked away with $151.3 million worldwide. Did very well internationally with 80 million, and even domestically with 70. So like, and it opened to 30 million. So this movie opened to not even half of what the first movie opened with, which is just crazy to see the box numbers do a huge shift after the positive word of mouth, the positive buzz of the first movie. Even the marketing was pretty solid. So I don't know what happened there, Ernesto.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially since they shot it back to back, you would figure the budget on this one would have been lower.
Way lower, like not higher. So I don't know what happened there, but kind of sad that this movie is not getting, a lot more attention, even though like this was supposed to be like a really good January slot for it because no other movies are in the competition. It couldn't even beat Avatar. And Avatar is going on its fifth week, about to be its sixth on the and number one slot. So Avatar, big movie. People still love to see it. And Zootopia 2 is still doing strong in the box office as well.
Hmm.
So I guess people have their choices. And unfortunately, 28 years later, The Bone Temple just wasn't it. I have a feeling this is going to do better when it hits VOD.
I agree. I agree. And I
Yeah.
think that this movie, as big as it is, it still has a very niche audience.
Oh, that's fair. That's also very fair. Oh, but with that, Ernesto, your final thoughts on 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
I really loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I feel like there was a lot of human story analysis, like a human story within this zombie narrative, and giving us something different. Like a typical zombie trope is that you just have to kill the zombies. Like, well, now they're giving us a story where these zombies can be rehabilitated, and we're getting into the mind of one who's coming back to being human, and we're gonna see that play out. One thing I am curious about is from the 28 years later, we don't revisit the baby born from the infected mother. That was a major plot point in the first one, which we don't even
Mhm.
hint at. We also don't see anything about Spike, dad, trying to rescue him or come find him, or even seeing that town again. Or maybe that's on purpose because he's in the next phase of his life.
Mhm.
But I mean, not even a mention of it at all, of community or civilization that he left behind.
Yeah. In
Um,
addition to then now teasing that Killian Murphy is going to be in the third movie, so like clearly the story is not over.
yeah,
So seeing what his involvement in it and seeing where that goes from there, really like these are clearly these seems like chapters
yeah,
for
and
the most.
it just seems like they've got a lot of wrapping up to do in this next movie. There's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up. But I'm excited to see where it goes because I enjoyed 28 years later. I enjoyed the Bone Temple, so I'm very curious to see what the direction and focus is going to be on the next one.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, as it seems like between the two movies, this is not 100% my jam. I will applaud them for making this franchise valuable again. Like,
Yes.
it kinda
Yes.
came like, this was already dead between the 2 movies, to come out of nowhere, to be like, "Not only are we coming back, but we're coming out swinging, all of us." All of Samson swinging, with not 1, but 3 movies going in and kind of reigniting this franchise in a big bad way too. Like, they're doing some really interesting stuff with this franchise, and again, even though I'm not really vibing with it 100%, I can recognize that it's doing different things that is getting me to go to the theater.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Oh,
Um,
and then my 5-star rating, I'm gonna give it a 4.
okay. I was gonna give it 3.5, but
I know.
I I'm not gonna argue with you on a 4.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I can see the 4. It's just I'm not personally there, but a 3.5, I can get there. Um, but either way, I can make the box office binger score a 4. We can do that.
Thank you.
Because it was solid.
Yeah.
It still is a solid movie. But yeah, that is our spoiler review on the Bone Temple. Is all the show we have for you guys this week. As always, you can follow us on our social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Box Office Bingers, our X and Letterboxd page at Box Office Binger, and our Threads and Instagram page at Box Office _ Bingers. The fun doesn't stop here. It continues on all of our social media channels, so be sure to give each one of those a follows. We really do appreciate that you do. Next week, as we mentioned throughout this episode, we're in full Oscar mode right now, full on award season. The next few episodes, we're going to be catching up on some of the things we have not reviewed yet. The goal next week is to kind of hit the international feature film category and kind of work our way down the list of just a couple of nominations that were out and kind of give our full kind of analysis and breakdowns and our thoughts on what's been nominated this year's Oscars and all preparation for our big predictions episode. And in addition to, the Oscar ceremony itself. But you can always look forward to also the what you're watching segment of our show as well. We're gonna try to hit some of the newer movies when we have time to, but just keep in mind the bulk of these episodes are gonna be award season heavy
Yeah.
from here until the Oscars. So basically the month of February, we're gonna be hitting that. But when we find time, we're also gonna try to hit um, some fun movies as well. And we didn't have what you're watching this week, but we plan on doing it next week. And there's some things we've seen. Just a little bit of a tease. We've seen The Rip,
Yeah.
the new Netflix movie from Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. We're going to talk about next week, and among other things as well. Um, but yeah, we really appreciate you listeners talking about movies. Come back next week for more movie fun. You're not going to regret it. And for that, I've been your host, Matt Diaz.
I've been Ernesto Santos. See ya.